The story begins not with the ship itself, but with ambition. Human ambition so vast it dared to challenge nature. At the dawn of the 20th century, the world was changing faster than ever before. Steel replaced wood, electricity replaced candlelight, and oceans that once separated continents were now highways of opportunity. In the bustling shipyards of Belfast, thousands of workers labored day and night under harsh conditions to construct what would become the largest moving object ever built by humans at that time. It was not just a ship. It was a statement, a declaration that mankind had conquered the sea. The vessel was named RMS Titanic. From the very beginning, Titanic was surrounded by grandeur. It was designed to be the pinnacle of luxury, divided into classes that mirrored the rigid social structure of the era. First-class passengers enjoyed suites more opulent than the finest hotels in New York or London. They dined under glittering chandeliers, walked along polished decks, and lived in a floating palace. But beneath this elegance lay a stark contrast. In third class, families seeking a new life in America were packed into simpler accommodations. They carried dreams instead of riches, dreams of freedom, prosperity, and a fresh start in the United States. Among them was a young Irish woman named Margaret O'Connor. She was only 19, traveling alone for the first time. Her ticket, carefully folded and tucked into her dress, represented everything she had ever hoped for. America, to her, was not just a country. It was a promise. In first class, another passenger boarded with entirely different expectations. Benjamin Carter, an American industrialist from Chicago, had built his fortune in steel manufacturing. He saw Titanic as more than a luxury voyage. It was a symbol of progress, proof that the world he had helped build was unstoppable. As Titanic
The bow of the ship dipped lower into the freezing water. Panic began to replace order. Some lifeboats were launched half empty, while others were overcrowded. Margaret was eventually placed into Lifeboat 15. As it descended, she looked back at the towering ship, its lights still glowing against the dark sky. It was a sight both beautiful and terrifying. Benjamin remained on deck. As the final moments approached, the ship's angle grew steeper. People clung to railings, to each other, to anything they could hold on to. The band played on, their music drifting into the cold night air, a haunting attempt to maintain calm in the face of disaster. At 2:20 a.m., Titanic broke apart and disappeared beneath the ocean. The silence that followed was broken only by the cries of those in the water. Margaret, shivering in the lifeboat, would never forget those sounds. Rescue came hours later when another ship arrived at the scene. Survivors were brought aboard, wrapped in blankets, their faces marked by shock and grief. Margaret survived. Benjamin did not. But this is not where the story ends. In the aftermath, the world demanded answers. How could such a tragedy occur? Investigations revealed a series of failures: ignored warnings, insufficient lifeboats, overconfidence in technology. The disaster led to sweeping changes in maritime safety. New laws required enough lifeboats for all passengers, continuous radio monitoring, and improved iceberg tracking. Margaret eventually reached New York. Her dream had come at an unimaginable cost, but she refused to let it be in vain. She built a life, worked tirelessly, and often spoke about the night that changed everything. She told stories not just of tragedy, but of courage, of strangers helping strangers, of sacrifice, of humanity revealed in its rawest form. The Titanic became